I'll write an interesting 800-word story for part 1 of Galactic Fuel Stop in third person using simple English and simple Korean names. Galactic Fuel Stop, humanity's outstanding service and atmosphere. The old fuel station floated in space, like a forgotten toy. For 10 years it had sat at the edge of busy space roads where many alien ships passed by. Most ships only stopped when they had no choice. Daeho stood at the main window watching the stars. His grandfather had built this place with big dreams but small success. Now it belonged to Daeho along with all its problems. "Another ship passing without stopping," said Jiho, looking at the radar screen. "That's the 5th one today." Daeho nodded. The station needed money badly. The walls needed fixing, the fuel tanks were only half full, and only 5 humans worked here now. They were the last ones who hadn't given up. "Human stations cannot compete with the big company ones," Jiho said with a sigh. "The aliens trust machines more than people." Daeho walked to the small kitchen area where Sunmi was cooking real food, something rare in space. The smell of spicy soup filled the air. "Maybe that's our answer," Daeho said suddenly. "We're not machines." Sunmi looked up from her cooking. "What do you mean?" "The big stations are all the same. Cold, fast, no one talks to you. What if we offer something different? Something human?" Before Sunmi could answer, an alarm sounded throughout the station. Jiho's voice came over the speaker. "Daeho, come quick! There's an emergency!" Daeho ran back to the control room. Jiho pointed at the radar. "A big fleet is coming this way fast. They're sending emergency signals." On the screen, Daeho saw 20 ships moving toward them. The leadership sent a message. "Station Terra 7, this is Captain Morvax of the Deltari Trading Fleet. We need emergency help. A space storm damaged 5 of our ships. We need repairs and fuel. Can you assist?" Jiho whispered. "We don't have enough fuel for all of them." Daeho thought quickly. The station needed money, but they also couldn't lie about what they had. "Captain Morvax, we can help, but our supplies are limited. We can fix your damaged ships and give enough fuel for the most hurt ones." There was silence then. "We accept." No other station answered our call. "We will arrive in 30 minutes. Daeho turned to his small crew. "This is our chance. Minho, prepare the repair bay. Sunmi will need food for hungry travelers. Jinsu, check our fuel levels and see what we can share. Jiho, help me welcome them." For the next half hour, everyone worked quickly. When the alien ships arrived, the humans were ready. The first aliens to enter the station were tall blue beings with 4 arms. They looked tired and worried. "Welcome to Terra 7, Daeho said with a small bow. "We have prepared repair areas for your damaged ships. While you wait, we have a warm place to rest and hot food if you can eat human cooking." Captain Morvax looked surprised. "You offer food and rest areas?" "Of course," Daeho said. "That's what humans do for travelers in need." The captain seemed confused but grateful. Soon the station was full of different aliens from the fleet. Some had scales, others had too many eyes, and a few looked like walking rocks. Sunmi served bowls of soup, carefully checking which aliens could eat human food. For those who couldn't, she offered special energy drinks. In the repair bay, Minho worked with alien engineers, showing them a clever fix using simple tools. "Sometimes the old ways work best," he explained, as he patched a broken fuel line in half the normal time. Jinsu found a way to stretch their fuel by mixing it with a chemical the aliens had in their cargo. "It's safe," he promised, "and it will get your damaged ships to the next big station." As the day went on, the aliens relaxed. Some even smiled in their alien ways. A group of rock-like beings sat in the small lounge area, enjoying the view of stars that humans had thought to put in a rest area. "Why would you waste space on this?" one asked Daeho. "Because beauty matters, even in space," he answered simply. When it was time for the fleet to leave, Captain Morvax came to Daeho. "Your station is unusual," he said. "We expected an emergency stop. We found something better." "Just humans, being humans," Daeho said with a smile. The captain handed him a payment card. "I've added extra for the unexpected service. and I've marked your station in our trade maps." After the fleet left, Daeho gathered his tired crew. "Today we were just ourselves," he said, "and it worked. I think I know how to save this station now." Jiho looked at the payment amount and his eyes grew wide. "If fleets like that stop here regularly, then we need to be ready." Daeho finished with a smile. "Let's make this the first human-style fuel stop in the galaxy." The news about Terra 7 spread faster than Daeho could have imagined. 1 month after helping the Deltari fleet, ships began appearing at the station almost daily. Word had traveled through space about the strange human fuel stop where aliens were treated as guests, not just customers. "Another one just docked," Jiho said, checking the monitors. "That's the 3rd ship today." Daeho nodded, surprised but pleased. The station had changed in small but important ways. The old broken chairs in the waiting area were replaced with comfortable seats designed for different alien body types. The kitchen area had expanded, with Sunmi creating food that most species could enjoy. "The blue tentacle beings from the Zori cluster love your spicy noodles," Daeho told Sunmi as she stirred a large pot. She smiled. "I found out their homeworld has similar spices. It reminds them of home." Minho had turned the repair bay into something special too. Instead of just fixing problems, he talked with alien engineers, learning their methods and sharing human ideas. His notebook was filled with new repair tricks that combined human creativity with alien technology. "The big company stations just replace broken parts," Minho explained to Daeho. "We find ways to fix things that save time and money. The aliens like that." One day a huge ship appeared near the station. It was shiny and new, with the logo of Galax Corp, the biggest fuel company in this part of space. An official-looking alien, in a perfect uniform, stepped onto their station. He had gray skin and 3 eyes that looked at everything with disapproval. "I am Inspector Zorb," he announced. "Galax Corp has noticed your increased business. I am here to see what you are doing." Daeho welcomed him politely. "Please look around, we have nothing to hide." The inspector watched everything. He saw Jinsu chatting with a pilot while filling the ship's tanks. He watched Sunmi ask a group of rock beings about their food preferences. He observed Minho working side by side with alien mechanics, laughing as they solved problems together. In the small station control room, Inspector Zorb finally spoke. "This is all very inefficient. At Galax Corp stations, refueling takes 7 minutes less. Repairs are done by machines, not hands. Food is not necessary." "But do the travelers enjoy their stop at your stations?" Daeho asked. The inspector blinked his 3 eyes. "Enjoy? The purpose is fuel and repair, not enjoyment." After the inspector left, Daeho worried. Would Galax Corp try to put them out of business? A week later, 5 ships arrived at once, more than they had ever handled. The crew said they had changed their route just to visit the human station. The Galax Corp station lowered their prices, one captain with scales instead of skin told Daeho. "But my crew voted to come here instead. Your engineer Minho fixed our engine last time in a way that has saved us fuel ever since." Another alien, thin with glowing dots across its body, added, "And Sunmi's food gives us something to look forward to on long journeys." Daeho felt proud, but also worried. The station was becoming too busy for their small team. That night, as the crew ate dinner together, Sunmi looked tired from cooking all day. Jinsu had small burns on his hands from working too quickly at the fuel pumps. Minho was still in the repair bay, trying to finish work on 3 ships. "We need help," Daeho admitted. "But who would come work at a small station so far from Earth?" The answer came the next day. A small Earth ship docked, carrying 4 humans. Their leader, a woman named Hana, approached Daeho. "We heard about this place," she said. "About humans making their way in space by being human. We want to join you." "How did you hear about us?" Daeho asked, surprised. "Everyone's talking about it. The human fuel stop is becoming famous. Other stations are trying to copy you, but they don't understand what makes this place special." Soon, the new crew members settled in. Hana was good with numbers and helped organize their growing business. The station began to thrive. One evening, Daeho stood at the window watching ships come and go. Jiho joined him. I never thought aliens would change their travel plans just to visit humans, Jiho said. We're not selling fuel, Daeho replied. We're selling something that's been missing out here. Conversation, care, solving problems together. So what's next for us? Jiho asked. Before Daeho could answer, the alarm sounded. A ship was approaching. Fast, sending emergency signals. But this time, Daeho wasn't worried. The unusual little human station was ready to help. 6 months after the Deltari fleet's emergency visit, Terra 7 had become something special in the galaxy. Ships from 20 different star systems changed their routes to visit the small human station. What had started as a struggling fuel stop was now known as a place where the impossible became possible. Minho stood in the repair bay, staring at the broken engine before him. It was unlike anything he had seen before, a mixture of technologies, from 3 different alien cultures. Our engineers say it cannot be fixed, said the ship's captain, a tall being with smooth purple skin. They say we must replace the entire system. Minho walked around the engine, touching parts carefully, thinking. The big stations would tell you the same. They want to sell new parts, but humans don't give up so easily. For 3 hours, Minho worked while the captain watched. He combined old human tools with alien technology in ways that shouldn't work, but somehow did. When the engine hummed back to life, the captain's eyes widened. How did you know this? Would work? The alien asked. Minho smiled. I didn't, but humans are good at trying new things when the old ways fail. News of Minho's fix traveled quickly. Soon, ships with unusual problems began arriving, specifically asking for the human who solves the unsolvable. In the kitchen area, Sunmi faced her own challenge. A delegation of important diplomats had arrived, 6 different species who rarely got along. They were traveling to peace talks but had stopped for emergency repairs. We cannot sit in the same room to eat, one diplomat with silver scales explained. Our species has been fighting for 100 years, Sunmi thought for a moment. What if I create a meal with 6 different stations? Each group can have their own space but still see the others eating the same food. The diplomats reluctantly agreed. Sunmi prepared dishes that contained ingredients from all 6 worlds but prepared in human styles. As they ate, the delegates began to ask questions about the food. What is this flavor? It reminds me of home, asked one. That's a spice from your world, but cooked the way we prepare food on Earth, Sunmi explained. By the end of the meal, diplomats who had refused to speak were sharing stories about their favorite foods. When they left for their peace talks, the next day, tension between them had eased. Food brings people together, Sunmi told Daeho later, even when those people have tentacles or breathe methane. The station faced its greatest test when 2 trading ships docked at the same time. One belonged to the Vrex, insect-like beings known for their strict honor code. The other was crewed by Taurians who looked like blue-furred bears and were famous for their practical jokes. They cannot both stay here, Jiho warned. Last time these species met, a small war started. It was too late. A Taurian engineer had played a trick on a Vrex trader, making a strange noise come from the Vrex's communication device. The Vrex believed this dishonored them. Both groups stood in the main hall, reaching for weapons. Hana stepped between them. Unlike the others who tried to separate the aliens, she walked straight into the middle. On Earth, she said loudly, we have a custom when someone plays a trick on us. Everyone stopped to listen. We play a better trick back, she continued. That shows true strength. Anyone can start a fight. Only the clever can win without violence. The Vrex leader's antennae twitched with interest. This is an honor challenge? Yes, Hana said confidently. Much more honorable than fighting. Fighting is easy. Being clever is hard. Slowly, the tension broke. The Vrex put away their weapons and began planning their response trick. The Taurians looked nervous but also excited. By the time both ships left 2 days later, the crews were not friends, but they had developed a strange respect for each other through an escalating but harmless prank war. How did you know that would work? Daeho asked Hana afterward. I didn't, she admitted. But humans understand that most people want to feel respected. Sometimes they just need a different way to get there. That night, as Daeho recorded the day's events in the station. Log, he wrote, "What we offer isn't just fuel or repairs. It's the human touch, finding solutions where others see only problems, bringing people together who think they must stay apart, and never accepting that something is impossible just because it's never been done before." The day the wormhole collapsed started like any other at Terra 7. Ships came and went, Minho fixed things that shouldn't be fixable, and Sunmi's kitchen filled the station with good smells. No one knew their small fuel stop was about to face its biggest test. Jinsu was the first to notice something wrong. The station's sensors picked up strange energy waves coming from the nearby wormhole, the main path that most ships use to reach this part of space. "Daeho, you need to see this," Jinsu called, pointing at the readings. "The wormhole is becoming unstable." Daeho watched the screen with growing worry. The wormhole had existed for hundreds of years, a stable path that made this fuel stop valuable. Without it, they would be cut off from the main trade routes. "Should we warn the ships in the area?" Jiho asked. Before Daeho could answer, a blinding flash lit up space outside their windows. The station shook violently, throwing everyone to the floor. When they looked outside again, the wormhole was gone. "It's collapsed completely," Jinsu said in shock. "I've never heard of this happening before." Within hours, chaos began. Ships that had been nearby when the wormhole collapsed arrived at the station, looking for help. Many more sent messages saying they were coming. With the main route gone, ships would need to take the long way around, a journey that would use much more fuel than they had planned for. "How many ships can we expect?" Daeho asked Jiho. "At least 50 within the next 2 days, maybe more." Daeho looked at their fuel supplies. "We don't have enough for all of them." The station quickly filled with worried aliens. Different species that normally avoided each other were now forced together in the small space. Arguments broke out in the waiting areas. "My ship has important medical supplies," shouted a captain with 4 arms. "We should get fuel first." "My passengers have been waiting longest," argued another. Daeho tried to keep peace, but tension grew. Some of the larger alien ships had more fuel and refused to share with smaller vessels. Others began taking more food than they needed from the kitchen. "They're acting like the universe is ending," Sunmi said sadly as she watched aliens hoarding supplies. "Fear makes people forget how to be their best selves," Hana replied. "Even aliens." That night, Daeho gathered his crew. "We have a choice," he said. "We can give our remaining fuel to the strongest ships that threaten us, or we can find a better way." "What better way?" Jiho asked. "We don't have enough for everyone," Minho spoke up. "What if we could make more fuel?" Everyone looked at him. "The process is dangerous," he admitted. "But I've been studying how different alien ships process fuel. If we combine techniques, we might be able to create emergency fuel that would at least help ships reach the nearest station." "How dangerous?" Daeho asked. "Very. Someone would need to monitor the process from outside the station. If something goes wrong..." They understood what he didn't say. "It could be deadly." While Minho worked on the fuel plan, Hana had an idea of her own. She called together representatives from each ship. "We humans have faced disasters before," she told them. "We've learned that working together is the only way to survive. Each of your ships has something the others need. Extra food, spare parts, navigation data for the new routes. If you share what you have, everyone benefits." At first, the aliens resisted, but when Minho announced his emergency fuel plan, they realized the humans were risking their lives to help everyone, not just themselves or their friends. Slowly, cooperation replaced fear. Ships with extra supplies began sharing with others. Engineers from 5 different species helped Minho perfect his fuel-making process. The most dangerous moment came when they tested the new fuel. Someone needed to monitor the reaction from the outside of the station, a job with no protection from the emptiness of space except a thin suit. "I'll go," Daeho said. "No," Jiho argued. "You're needed to run the station. I'll do it." In the end, they all went together, taking turns in the dangerous position while the others monitored from safety. When the first batch of emergency fuel was successfully created, cheers echoed through the station. Not just from humans, but from all the aliens who had worked together to make it happen. As ships began departing with their share of the new fuel, many captains made the same promise. We will not forget what humans did here today. When others ask about Earth, we will tell them, humans are the ones who bring hope when all seems lost. 5 years had passed since the wormhole crisis. What was once a small fuel stop had grown into something the galaxy had never seen before. Terra 7 was now Terra Station, a floating city where ships from 100 worlds came to trade, talk, and learn from humans. Taiwan walked through the main hall, looking at how much had changed. He was just 16 when he arrived at the station with his parents after the great wormhole collapse. Now at 21, he worked as a guide for new visitors. And over here is where it all started, Taiwan told a group of young aliens. Just a small repair bay where humans first showed the galaxy that sometimes fixing things is better than replacing them. The repair bay was now a huge facility where engineers from 20 species worked together. Minho, now older with gray in his hair, still worked there. He had trained hundreds of aliens in what everyone called the human approach, finding creative solutions instead of giving up. Minho once fixed an engine with cooking tools and pieces of 3 different ships, Taiwan explained to his wide-eyed visitors. Now that approach is taught at engineering schools on 12 planets. Near the station's center stood the gathering place, which had grown from Sunmi's small kitchen. It was now the most famous restaurant in this part of space. Sunmi still cooked there, but she also ran a school where chefs from different worlds learned to combine their food traditions. Food brings people together better than any peace treaty, Sunmi always said. Taiwan led his group to the observation deck where they could see ships coming and going. A new wormhole had eventually formed, but in a different location. Terra Station had been moved there piece by piece, a project that many had said was impossible until humans showed it could be done. "Where is Daeho now?" asked a small blue alien child. "The stories say he was the first human to make this place special." "He works with the Galactic Council," Taiwan answered. "After the wormhole crisis, many worlds realized that humans had something valuable to offer." That afternoon, a special ship docked at the station. Taiwan felt nervous as he waited with the welcoming group. The Galactic Council ship was impressive, with symbols from 100 worlds painted on its side. When the doors opened, Daeho walked out. He was older now, wearing the blue uniform of a council advisor. Behind him came representatives from many worlds, including species that had once been enemies. "Welcome back to where it all began," Jiho said, stepping forward to greet his old friend. The 2 humans hugged, and then Daeho addressed the waiting crowd. "The council has made its decision," he announced. "Terra Station will become the official training center for the new Galactic Hospitality Initiative. Every world that wishes to join the council must send people here to learn what we call the human touch." Cheers erupted from the crowd. For humans, this was more than just recognition. It was proof that their way of doing things had value. Later, Daeho sat with his old crew in Sunmi's private kitchen. They were all older now, with new responsibilities, but they still felt like family. "Did you ever think our little fuel stop would change the galaxy?" Hana asked, pouring drinks for everyone. Daeho smiled. "We didn't set out to change anything. We just did what humans have always done. We adapted, we helped others, we found new ways when old ways failed." "The aliens still don't fully understand us," Minho said. "Yesterday, an ambassador asked me to explain the human method for solving problems. I told him there isn't one. We just don't give up." As they talked, Taiwan joined them, bringing a young human woman who had just arrived from Earth. "This is Yu Jin," he said. "She wants to work at the station." "Why come all this way?" Jiho asked her. "There are better jobs on Earth." Yu Jin looked around at them all. "Because the stories reached Earth too. How a few humans with nothing special except their humanity changed how species see each other. I want to be part of that." Daeho nodded in understanding. "The greatest technology we brought to space wasn't our engines or our science," he said. "It was our ability to care, to connect, to treat strangers as friends." Through the windows, they could see ships from across the galaxy docking at the station that had begun as a simple fuel stop. Each ship carried beings who had come not just for fuel or repairs, but for something that only humans had thought to offer: a warm welcome, a helping hand, and the simple comfort of being treated as someone who matters. That was humanity's true legacy among the stars.